All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today we're going to be talking about the Rams offensive tackle search. The reason I say that is because A.J. Arcuri, who was thrown into the fire as a practice squad guy, didn't even make the 53. I like him as a developmental piece. I like him as the fourth emergency offensive tackle. But if Joe Noteboom is in serious trouble and is actually out for a long time, you already have Rob Havenstein, who missed this game, and Alec Jackson, who was suspended. I think the Rams need to add some depth, and I think they need to go out and sign an offensive tackle. But which one should they sign? We're going to get into it. Before we do, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I just want to let you guys know that today's sponsor is Prize Picks. Prize Picks, you can sign up today using my promo code JKBogan. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win. Instantly. So definitely you're going to want to get involved in that. Also, Caleb Williams just has to throw 1 yard each week, and that's your freebie. So you have 4 of those. Obviously, week 1 is in the books. You have 3 more. It ends at the end of September, so you definitely want to get in on that if you can as soon as possible. I've been playing Prize Picks for years, and I'll tell you right now, there's nothing like hitting that lineup. You see all the green and you hit, your payout hits that account. Just it's a great feeling. But if you've never tried it before, it's very simple. You take a player you like, maybe you don't like. If you like them, you think that they're going to do well, you hit more on their projection. If you don't like the player, you think they're going to do poorly, you hit less than their projection. You can choose up to 2 to 6 players, and that's how you build that lineup. So download the app today. Use the code JKBogan to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, so looking at this, Joe Noteboom, he left the game. We know that. A.J. Arcuri came in against the Lions. Rob Havenstein, we don't really know the status. It looked like he was close to playing and then ultimately did not suit up. And, of course, we know Alec Jackson will be back in week 3 from suspension, but I still think they need a tackle. So we're going to start from the bottom and go up. Let's talk about Alec Jackson, just to give you an idea of what he is. In case you didn't know, in 2023, according to PFF, he had 1 sack, 30 pressures on 530 snaps, and had a 96.2 pass protection efficiency rating. His career is 96.4. He is an average run blocker, and he had 3 penalties in 2023, which is really good. Very disciplined, average run blocker, so he's not bad. He's not like a net negative, right? And then the pass protection is pretty solid. I mean, not giving up, only giving up 1 sack, 30 pressures. That's really good. That's why the Rams brought him back, 26 years old. The next option here, obviously, he's on the roster. We're going to be on the roster. The next option is Charles Leno Jr., okay? These are guys that the Rams can go out and sign right now, so I wanted to bring these guys to the forefront. Charles Leno Jr., he's 32 years old. In 2023, he gave up 3 sacks, 34 pressures on 598 snaps, and he had a 96.9 efficiency rating, which is higher than Alec Jackson. He has a career 96.9 efficiency rating. He is an average run blocker as well, but he had 10 penalties in 2023. So the discipline is probably a little bit better with Alec. That's worth mentioning. Donovan Smith, 31 years old, 2 sacks in 2023 with the Kansas City Chiefs, 42 pressures on 474 pass protection snaps. That is 95.4 pass protection efficiency rating. He has a 96.3 for his career. He is a below average run defender. I'm not overly a fan of going out and getting him. Nothing against him personally. I just don't think he would really help. Plus, he has 9 penalties to go with it. So below average run defender. 42 pressures is a lot. Only 2 sacks, but you have Patrick Mahomes, so obviously Mahomes doesn't get sacked a lot. Leno Jr., again, 34 pressures. I mean, way more snaps. That's another thing. Donovan Smith didn't play anywhere near as many snaps. Next up, we have DJ Humphries, who was with the Arizona Cardinals for quite a long time, playing predominantly left tackle. Obviously, his first year, he played right tackle, but 30 years old. Okay, this is a guy that had 4 sacks given up last year, 28 pressures on 525 pass protection reps, 97 efficiency rating. His career is 96.7. He's a below average run defender, to be fair. and a run blocker, excuse me, and he has 9 penalties in 2023 he's coming off of. So far, based on all those guys, I think I would go with, obviously Alec Jackson sounds like the best of the bunch, but I'm not saying any of these guys replace Alec Jackson, because keep in mind, now that the season started, you can offer these guys non-guaranteed contracts. So Leno Jr., Donovan Smith, DJ Humphries, I would probably go with those. Out of those 3, I would eliminate Donovan Smith. I think between Humphries and Leno, I would probably go with Humphries. I understand Leno is an average run blocker. I think Humphries is a better pass protector. And the efficiency rating says that by a tick, but I think both of them are pretty solid options as depth. So that's what I would say there. Last but not least, certainly not least, guy that you know very well, David Bakhtiari. Okay, was recently cut by the Green Bay Packers. He's 32 years old. He had ACL recovery that he missed 13 games with in 2023. ACL surgery, rehab, missed 4 games in 2022. Knee rehab, missed 17 games in 2021. He's had 5 knee operations since December 2023. So I understand you're like, Jake, so we're going to take, let me get this straight. We're going to take a guy with injury issues to add him to depth for our injury issues? That doesn't sound right. But hear me out. He received feedback lately, very good, optimistic feedback. He is eyeing a return in 2024. A lot of people assumed he was going to retire. It doesn't seem like he wants to. He does want to play. He is an all-pro level tackle when healthy, a 97.6 career efficiency rating as a pass protector. Last season, he had actual snaps, was 2022. He had 11 games played. He gave up 0 sacks and 10 pressures, and he had 5 penalties. I think this is the guy that if you're going to go out and do something like this, now I think Humphries makes a lot of sense, but I would either go with Humphries or Bakhtiari. Humphries is a solid piece, can start, can be effective. He, doesn't have the most consistency. He'll have his ups and downs, but if Bakhtiari gets back to where he was, and that is a huge if, because he's been through the ringer with these knee injuries. I mean, this thing has been bothering him for years, but he's considered dominant as a pass protector when healthy. His last game in 2023, week 1, he gave up 0 pressures on 30 snaps. Like, it's not like he hasn't played in 4 years, guys. I understand a lot's been going on with him, but this time last year, he played in a game where he gave up 0 sacks on 30 snaps. 0 pressures, not even sacks. He's a good run blocker when healthy, better than anybody else on this list. I really think the Rams should be calling up DJ Humphries and David Bakhtiari. Now, obviously, I would prefer Bakhtiari because I think this guy, when healthy, is without a doubt one of the best tackles in football. So I don't know if the Rams would go this route. But I'll tell you right now, if they get really bad news on Noteboom, because he didn't come back, if they get bad enough news on Noteboom, I think they sign one of these guys. Right now, these guys are waiting for an opportunity. I'm sure some of them have had deals they're sitting on. That's just the way it works. Not everybody wants to go to training camp, especially when you're a veteran. But now that these contracts are not guaranteed after week 1, well, you have teams that'll sign these guys and be like, yeah, we can pay you X amount of dollars because it's not a guaranteed contract. It, kind of sweetens the pot, if you will. So we will see. I personally would go with Bakhtiari, and I would also be interested in Humphries. I would eliminate Donovan Smith. I wouldn't be against Charles Leno Jr., but that wouldn't be my priority. And Alec Jackson, I don't think needs to be gone. I think Alec Jackson's a good player, and we don't even know anything about what happened because they never told us how he got suspended. Somehow he's missing 2 games, but Rashee Rice over in Kansas City, we know what he did, and he gets to play the whole season while they figure it out legally. That seems insane to me. But either way, point I'm making here, Alec Jackson will be back for week 3, so they might not even bother with any of this. I'm just saying if Noteboom has a serious injury, even if he doesn't, I think they need another tackle. I think Warren McClendon Jr. obviously is a guy that they'd be interested in that situation, and I thought he played the best he could at right tackle considering who he was going up against. But I I really do think that if Noteboom is out for a considerable amount of time, I don't really think anybody is on the roster that can really help alleviate that loss. So, I mean, these are some good tackles considering that they're available after week 1. To me, Bakhtiari, I don't know when he would come back, but I would be absolutely kicking the tires on Bakhtiari because the reality is the last time we saw him in a game, he looked as dominant as ever. And that was last year, this time last season. So September of last year, 30 pass protection reps, 0 pressures, 0. So I can't sit here and act like, yeah, he's old and he has all these injuries. He's 32. That's not really old. I mean, we have offensive tackles that play until they're 40, like Andrew Whitworth. So he's not old. Okay, I don't think he's old. I think, the injuries are a little concerning, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, I'm sure he has interest, but I would be very curious to see if the Rams would be willing to bring him in. He's a big name, but just recently, even though it was a small sample size last year, he showed us that he is still that guy. Now, is he still that guy today? He was that guy a year ago, but with all these surgeries and everything, and these procedures, is he still that guy? And that's what we'd have to figure out. But I think you bring in him for a workout. You bring in DJ Humphries, maybe Leno and Smith. I'm just not really interested in Donovan Smith because I think the other guys offer more. But you bring in those 3, you have them duke it out. Who do you like? You sign him. I think it's that simple. Conor McDermott, by the way, on IR. So for those of you who forgot, they can't just call him up like he's on the IR. He's going to miss the first 4 games of the season. He is designated to return. But, I mean, like I said, if Bakhtiari can get going and he can be the player that he has been every time he's been healthy, I mean, guys, he's allowed 29 sacks and 5,375 snaps. Like, you have to understand, so 29 sacks in 5,375 snaps. It's going back to 2013. Alec Jackson has allowed 4 in 873, which is really good. DJ Humphries has allowed 29 in 4,000. Bakhtiari's allowed 29 in 5,375. Donovan Smith has allowed 43 in 6,000. And Charles Leno Jr. has allowed 44 in 5,732. So Bakhtiari and DJ Humphries are your best bets there. They both have given up the same amount of sacks. Obviously, one is clearly better than the other. But I'm giving them calls. Come work out. Let's see what you got. Let's test, Bakhtiari. Let's test, have that physical done, figure out where you are. And if it makes sense, we're going to add you to the roster. And I think it does ultimately make sense to at least do that and have that dialogue. I don't think the Rams roster's done. I can't stress that enough. Now, if they trade for anybody, right? If they trade for anybody, it would be at the deadline, likely, and it would be an offensive tackle that is on a contract year, in my opinion, and is on a team that is free falling, essentially. And Ronnie Stanley, while that sounds great and all, the Ravens aren't going anywhere, okay? And that's a good thing for them. I mean, they're going to be competing for a potential Super Bowl. So you don't trade Ronnie Stanley. But a team like the Broncos that lost today, I'm not super high on Bo Nix. I'm not super high on Sean Payton. Hasn't done anything since Drew Brees retired. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos struggled and then Garrett Bowles became available. And we talked about him last year, adding him. This is why all during the draft, Fashanu, Fawaga, this is why I wanted those guys. Joe Alt, I kept saying it over and over again. I still think, the beauty of this would be if they find that Bakhtiari is good. Because the real thing here is that they were trying with Bakhtiari, and the reason why it took so long and everything, and he explained it, he's been through this emotional journey trying to figure things out. And essentially, he had this knee procedure done as a preventative measure. So the hope is he's had 5 operations since he tore his ACL in December. the hope is that this preventative surgery is going to change everything. I don't know if it will, but the reality is this: if it does, then you have an all-pro level tackle if he's able to get back to that form. If he's not able to get back to that form, then you have a guy that's probably good, not elite, but good, and he's 32. I mean, you signed Andrew Whitworth at what, 35 years old? So it's not crazy. You could find something in him. I think they need to do this. I'm actually, I'll say that. Him or Humphries, I think they need to. Humphries has, he doesn't really have good, he could be good. I look at Bakhtiari as he could be elite. I'm not saying he will, but it's possible that's still in him. 2023, this time last year, he was elite. One game, but elite. So, if you had Bakhtiari at half as good as he is, and healthy, right? You have David Bakhtiari, you had Avila, Jonah Jackson, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein. If he can get back to where he was, that's the best offensive line in football, if they're healthy. Or at least one of them. It's got to be up there, like a top 5. So, look, interesting, very interesting. This started off as, hey, these are the options, and then it turned into, yeah, I want Bakhtiari. That's just sometimes I find my way when I'm recording a video. I just get to the point, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of answered the question there. I think that's who it should be. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I know a lot of people forgot about David Bakhtiari. Obviously, you know who he is, and he's a star tackle, but he's been hurt a lot. So if he could get back to health, I think the Rams should. There's nothing wrong with kicking the tires on him. Non-guaranteed money, all of that. Bring him in, do a workout, test everything, make sure he takes the physical. If the doctors pass him, then sign him. I think it's that simple. I know it's not that simple. There's a lot more that goes into such a decision, but yeah, the floodgates open. There are a lot of injuries. You're going to have to prepare. They went out and got guys in the past. 2022, they went out and got guys. So I think David Bakhtiari, he's not just adding depth. He's somebody that could be a difference maker if he gets back to his full strength. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I'll be putting out videos about the Rams all throughout the week and for the rest of the year. So be sure to tune in, subscribe, like, comment. Also be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Check out this and every video that I post as a podcast as well if you're interested. That's Jake Ellenbogen Live. Just search it, subscribe to it wherever you get your podcasts. And once again, special shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. We'll see you guys soon. Later, folks. For those of you who want to support the channel further, you can go ahead and you can actually sign up and become a member on the channel and have access to all different perks. You can see here the join button right below all my videos. You can hit that. You're going to get access. 99 cents a month will get you rookie access. That's going to get you all these loyalty badges and what have you, priority reply to comments. All members will have priority reply to comments. Starter $2.99. That is going to be member shoutouts. Pro Bowl is going to be auto follow back on all social media platforms. You just have to reach out to me and show me that, of course, you are a member for Pro Bowl. All Pro is members only live streams. I will be doing one a month for members only. MVP is priority call-ins. It's going to be hard to get everybody in during the season. Obviously, you will have your first crack at basically calling in to the show. And then last but not least, the Hall of Fame, which is $19.99 a month. And that is an exclusive gaming session with me monthly. So if you want to get a little bit more into the action while also helping out the channel, be sure to sign up for one of the memberships today. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.